Okay, so let's talk a little bit about managing floods and how we deal with flooding. So we're here in the south part of the San Francisco Bay Area, and we're here in the Baylands salt marsh tidal wetlands, and this area right here, right in front of us, is a tidal creek. So about 5 hours ago, this was mostly mud flats. Now the tide is rising, is coming up. It's about a plus 5.5 foot or so right now. And so we're in the middle of trying to protect some of our infrastructure from rising sea levels, thanks to climate change and related factors. And so what we're doing here is, this is a new way of getting water off the landscape, off the area over there. And so this has a flap gate or a tide gate. So when the water is rising like this, it's now floated and it's closed. When it's raining and the tide is low, that'll flap open, and so water can go out, but it can't come in. So we have some mechanical things to manipulate the water. And then we have this thing right here. We've just constructed a new levee as part of an effort to protect the sewage treatment plant right behind us. Not a good idea if that sewage treatment plant floods. So if I come up here and look, you'll see, if I put the phone down towards the ground, you'll see there's an angle to this. There's a slope to this face right here. And so what we're doing is, you walk up this hill. This is known as a levee. So a levee, the best thing is to have it very broad and flat, right? Very broad and gradual. The problem is we can't always do that because we have infrastructure, we have homes, we have roads. And so in that case, you put in what's called a flood wall. We're not doing a flood wall here. We're doing the better, more robust, an earthen levee, a pile of soil. But then also we've added a little bit of a lip. So if you come over here, you'll see there's an extra little hiccup right here, an extra little lift, and this is a public trail. So people will be able to walk on this even when the tide is relatively high, or even when the wetland is relatively wet. They can still ride their bikes, walk, etc. So in addition to providing recreational opportunities, the tops of levees can be a nice little extra, so this is not a flood wall, but if I go down here, you can see this is a good 3 feet, 2.5, 3 feet higher than what would have been the otherwise top of the levee. So it's a little bit of extra lip, a little bit of extra protection during those really crazy times, and it assures that everybody walking here will be on dry ground. So a lot of different ways to deal with floodwaters, a lot of different ways to deal with rising seas. This now looks pretty naked. This just looks like dirt as we record this in November of 2025. But that's because we've not planted this. So in the next couple of weeks, we're gonna start planting this with native vegetation. So this is gonna be even stronger as we have the plants come in here, take root, and their stems and their rhizomes and their roots act to anchor this even more and make it even stronger, more protective. So the plants will be a living barrier. So we call this green infrastructure or green protection. And this would be in contrast to that culvert or that engineered or that metal human-built material protection. We use a combination of both, but more and more we're realizing that these natural landscapes, the so-called green infrastructure, is better than gray infrastructure. It's better than concrete and boulders. It's better for biodiversity. It's more dynamic. It can actually live and grow and respond to changes, whereas concrete and steel doesn't grow, doesn't live, doesn't adapt. So green infrastructure, managing floods, a key thing, a key way we deal with living on this changing planet and living next to water in the San Francisco Bay Area and beyond.